Hello PSI Gamer fans and welcome back to RimWorld. As you can see, we are continuing directly from where we left off on a fine ice sheet summer day with everyone's favorite character Shepard, his friend McTodd, and Lynx. The first thing that Shepard is going to get to work on in this episode is that he is going to deconstruct one of the other wind turbines and he's going to build a room of equal size to his room to the south. This will be the room that McTodd will sleep in once we finish constructing it. Throughout the next day, Shepard and McTodd will work together to build McTodd's bedroom, and Shepard will move the table and stools from his bedroom into the hydroponics room so that people don't disturb Shepard in his sleep while they try to eat. The next day, Lynx has a mental breakdown and starts wandering in sadness due to cooked cannibalism. However, since she was not doing any work, this is very little of our concern. That night, we are notified of fall having begun. And in the morning, Shepard and McTodd will deconstruct some spaceship chunks that have crashed to the north of our base a while ago. They will mainly be doing this for the components, as we are almost completely out of components. However, as a side effect, they will also receive 60 steel for their efforts. And the rest of the day passes rather uneventfully until the shuttle arrives to pick up Cindy the Fox. I had kind of forgotten about Cindy the Fox, so as I had guessed earlier, the quest was quite easy. Shepard carries the Fox to the shuttle, and after we send them away, we can see that our relationship with the Broken Empire has increased from 0 to 12. If we could theoretically get that up to 75, then we could become allies with them and they might send us military aid when we're in trouble. A couple of hours later, and Shepard finishes research on machining. This will be quite useful very soon, however, we cannot make anything with the machining table quite yet until we research our next research project, which will be gunsmithing. The following morning, we are notified of a quest. Tyson seeks a home. A 55-year-old weaver named Tyson is being chased by one pirate from the killer convicts. He wants to stay with us. I think, regardless of whether or not Tyson is good, this is a good idea to do this quest. It has been a bit since we've received any kind of a raid, and that'll increase our food supply, and who knows, maybe Tyson will be a useful colonist. So I accept the quest, and Tyson comes wandering onto the map with no clothing on. And if we are to take a look at Tyson's stats, we can see that he is quite interesting indeed. However, there are a few red flags. He is better at crafting than Shepard. He is also better at mining. However, he is also lazy and will not do any dumb labor. I do think we will be keeping him around for now, just because we can afford to feed him, and he has a shooting skill of 5, so he might be able to help defend the colony just in case it comes to that. But of course, to actually get Tyson, we will have to fight off the pirate on his trail. So the person shows up wielding their steel axe, and Shepard is going to go out with his bolt-action rifle to try to take them down. Shepard's efforts to take the raider down are quite successful, as he kills them in 3 shots. They will provide a good amount of food for us, and they also had 1 smoke leaf joint that we might be able to give someone if they're in a bad mood. And perhaps to thank us for our rescue, Tyson is now throwing a party in our dining area. And after the party draws to a close, and we have another seemingly permanent colonist on our hands, I think it might be prudent to build 2 more hydroponics basins just to keep up with the food demand. And after Shepard constructs the 2 hydroponics basins, Tyson and McTodd can get to work on planting some rice plants. However, their work will quickly be interrupted by another raid. This time, there are 3 pirates from the killer convicts arriving in transport pods nearby. And in a bit of a scary twist, this time one of the pirates has brought a gun. Although it is only a poor revolver, this does signify that the raid strength is getting a bit larger as our colony grows. In order to stop the oncoming raiders, Shepard takes his bolt-action rifle and heads out to start shooting. He gets one good shot in, but then the pirate with a revolver starts returning fire, and he has to retreat to avoid getting any bullets in him. He manages to take the pirate with the gun down in one shot, and then the other pirate, who is injured, starts coming towards him. However, this pirate does not fare very well because he is slowed, and Shepard has a gun, where he only has a club. Shepard takes down the other raider in this group, and there is one more raider on the other side of the map that has to be dealt with. This pirate has started to charge the base, however I do not think he will make it very far. Shepard positions himself in the doorway and starts to open fire on the raider. He doesn't land any hits, however he can retreat and hide behind the safety of his sandbags. And the raider falls victim to one of the steel spike traps and dies. And in order to get Tai-san equipped with some sort of a weapon, I will be giving him the poor revolver that raider had equipped. It's not a very good weapon, and it'll probably be swapped out for the next gun we find. However, it's better than nothing. Additionally, following the harvest of the heelroot plants in one of our hydroponics basins, I will be switching that hydroponics basin to grow cotton plants. We have a pretty good amount of heelroot plants saved up, and I think having some cotton to make some hats or parkas for someone might be a good idea. And for the third time within 3 days, the killer convicts are back to attack us again. This time, the pirates are attacking immediately, so I will position the 3 colonists behind the sandbags and prepare for their assault. Shepard gets a lucky shot on one of the raiders, downing him instantly, and the other raider begins to flee. After the raid, I think it's about time we upgraded our base a little bit. Shepard will be working on a dining room area that can be kept separately from the hydroponics, cooking, and research bench. This will be put in around a central location in our base, and to do this we will also be removing our last wind turbine, as we do not need it, and it's just a waste of resources to keep it. It doesn't take Shepard long to finish the walls to the room, and afterwards he will build another room to the south of that room, and this will be where Tai-san sleeps. And in the evening, Shepard finishes researching gunsmithing. However, if you thought we were going to make any guns yet, you will be sorely mistaken, as before we can make any good guns, we also must research blowback operation. And the next day, Shepard finishes construction on Tai-san's bedroom. He will currently have to deal with just having a floor made out of ice, as we do not have enough stone blocks. However, I think we will change that soon enough. Before we can do any kind of other construction work, however, we will have to deal with another raid. This time, we are not being raided by pirates, but outlanders. I position my 3 colonists and prepare for the outlanders to come attack us. However, I also stick Shepard in the doorway to see if he can get a good shot in before they approach us. He manages to get one good hit, but then he has to retreat, or otherwise he risks getting shot at. And this is where I realized that our killbox area has a bit of a problem. People with guns, which were kind of rare before now, can hide behind the door at the outside and not get hit very much. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about it right now in the middle of battle, however, we will have to deal with it at some point. Luckily, however, our 2 shooters managed to take her down without her shooting any of us once. We then steal their clothing, and then get to constructing a tiled floor for our dining room area. We then receive a Psychic Soothe for males. This is a quite good event, as it stops any men from potentially having mental breakdowns by adding 16 points to their mood. In the morning, we can see that McTodd's cooking has inadvertently given Tai-san food poisoning. This isn't really a big deal, however, this might lower his mood even further, and it could cause him to be pretty useless for the next day or so. And now, to solve the issue that surfaced in the previous raid, I'm going to be constructing a bit of a funnel to push raiders into our kill area, rather than having them get stuck outside. I will build a bit of a tunnel made out of stone walls, so that nobody digs through it very easily, and I will put a door for ease of access for our colonists. I will then put down our line of sandbags, because raiders, like everyone else, cannot stand on top of sandbags and instead must walk to the next available tile to stand on. This means that any raiders wanting to enter the base will have to walk over the sandbags and into the kill zone before they can actually get any shots in. Next morning, we are notified of a pair of yaks that have come to join us. As much as I appreciate yaks due to their high carrying capacity and as well as their ability to be milked, I do not think our colony is at a place where we can support 2 pet yaks. They do have a tendency to eat a lot, and I think they'll be better suited as some meat for us to eat. The rest of the day passes rather uneventfully, until the next morning when a war merchant is visiting our base. This will be a first opportunity for Tyson to make some kind of a trade deal, as he has a higher social skill than Shepard. Tyson's social skill, if you are wondering, is level 4, where Shepard's is only level 1. And upon checking the inventory of these traders, it seems that they do not have much stuff for sale that will be of any use to us. However, they will buy all of our old knives, clubs, and clothing, and selling all of these off, Tyson can get us a nice pile of $194. Shepard then finishes research on blowback operation, meaning we can start to craft some high-quality guns for ourselves. And immediately after this, we are going to start research on gun turrets. In order to craft a gun, we will need Tyson to do it, as he has the highest crafting skill, and we will need to build a machining table. However, the machining table requires a large amount of steel, which we do not have. And as we have mined out all of the steel to the north, we will have to find the next closest vein of steel, which is directly to the west of the base. It takes a few trips, but eventually Shepard has collected enough steel to build the machining table. Now that we have the machining table, we can set our first bill. Our bill that we will be setting is to make 1 auto pistol. The auto pistol is very similar to the revolver, however, it fires faster and is slightly more accurate, so I think it will be a better weapon in the hands of Tyson. After getting all the steel back, Tyson will start crafting his pistol. The pistol is a rather simple weapon compared to some of the other guns, so it doesn't take him very long. And working into the night, we can see that Tyson has completed a pistol of normal quality. This will be far superior to his poor revolver. And then as a bit of a change of pace, Tyson is actually the one who completes research on gun turrets. And after this, we will next start research on gas operation. Blowback operation allows us to make some nice guns, but gas operation will make even nicer ones. And in an attempt to solve our storage problems once and for all, I have Shepard construct a large stockpile room to the left of our base. This should be enough space to store pretty much everything we will collect through the rest of this series, as we can keep all our food in the fridge and put all of our other items in the big room. And after sorting out all our items into the storage rooms that they belong in, our base looks a lot more organized. As an additional side note, I'm also having McTodd produce fine meals out of yak meat from our yaks earlier, rather than human meat. This is because McTodd and Shepard both will enjoy fine meals regardless of the ingredients. However, Tyson will not enjoy the fine meals if the ingredients are human meat. We have also finished cutting enough stone blocks to give Tyson a floor in his bedroom. That night, we have our first inconvenient solar flare of the series, as it shuts off all of our hydroponics basins. We will have to quickly get out of bed and deal with this, or it will kill all of our rice plants. So Tyson and McTodd get up in the middle of the night and work together to harvest what rice they can before all the rice dies of cold. We can also see that Tyson's parka that he's wearing is not as high quality as the Mega Sloth wool parkas of Shepard and McTodd, and when the power goes out and the heat is no longer on, Tyson starts to suffer from hypothermia. Luckily for him, however, the power goes back on before his hypothermia gets too bad and he can easily recover. In the evening, we have a bit of an aggressive cluster of cargo pods dropping right through our roof even, and supplying us with a large amount of sheep meat. We are also notified of winter having begun, meaning it is about to get back down to aggressively cold temperatures on the ice sheet. In the middle of the night, we are notified of a raid of 4 Outlanders. This is the largest raid we've ever had, and they appear to be quite well armed. All 4 of them are equipped with guns, and all of the guns appear to be pretty high quality. Luckily for us, these people are preparing, so we do have some time to do some work before we will have to fight them off. And to help fight them off, I am going to be giving Lynx the poor revolver from earlier, as she has a level 11 shooting skill. Now that the raiders are beginning their assault, I'm going to position everybody behind the sandbags, and I'm going to put Lynx and McTodd around the corner from the wall. We can also see that the raiders, in an attempt to deal damage to some of our structures, have decided to start hitting our walls and lighting our power lines on fire. However, it is snowing, so the fire should go out pretty quickly. I send Tyson out to try to bait them into coming inside, however it seems like they were about to do that anyways. The raiders begin fleeing before any of them get any shots in on us, however McTodd does get punched once. And before Paulo can get away, we manage to take him down, and we are going to steal his clothing, as he is wearing a sheep wool parka, which is much more insulating than Tyson's cloth parka that he's currently wearing. Now that Tyson is well protected against the cold, we shouldn't have to worry about him getting any more hypothermia whenever the power goes out. The next thing that will be done is Shepard will begin to replace all the steel walls in the base with stone walls. The marble walls specifically have a higher beauty rating than steel and will make the rooms more impressive. Also, stone is more useful for building structures, whereas steel can be used for other purposes. We also are notified of another cluster of cargo pods crashing nearby, and this time they contain a good sum of jade. Jade is a pretty valuable material and is rather rare, so I will obviously be hauling it back to the base soon. Shepard and Tyson quickly work together to build up the marble walls around Shepard's room. And we can see that Shepard has reached construction level 14. And for what I believe is the 6th time this episode, we are receiving another attack. This time, there are only 3 tribespeople, however 2 of them do have bows, which can do a bit of damage if used properly. They will be attacking us right away, so we will have to get everyone into position. And our 3 shooters managed to take down the tribespeople pretty efficiently. And since one of them survived, we can even steal his clothing. That evening, McTodd finishes healing from all her bruises and gets back to cooking food. We then receive a quest. A shuttle of the Broken Empire is requesting to land somewhere at our place. They will be attacked by Outlanders, however, I think we have dealt with our fair share of Outlanders, and this should be pretty easy. So I accept the quest for honor, as I think it would be nice to give Shepard some kind of a royal title. And of course we will also be able to loot this crashed shuttle afterwards. The shuttle crashes to the east part of our map, and we can take a look at the people that we need to protect. And all 4 of our people will be going up there to defend them. And here come the Outlanders, and it does not look like this will be a very hard fight. There are only 3 of them, and the 2 that have guns have very low shooting skills. And we managed to scare them off pretty easily, however McTodd does receive a stab wound in her eye. I send her home to receive medical attention from Shepard. I think that since Shepard is an okay doctor and we have some medicine, she should be okay. And the rescue shuttle arrives to pick up the Imperials, and they leave our base. We can also see that one of the raiders briefly gets up before falling down again. Shepard gains the title of a freeholder, which doesn't do anything immediately. However, eventually it will lead to greater things. He will also receive a +8 mood bonus for a week because of the title. And as promised, we can also deconstruct the crashed shuttle for 7 components, 52 plasteel, and 30 steel. This seems like a pretty good deal in my opinion, especially the plasteel, which can be quite rare. Shepard then finishes the research on gas operation, so we can have Tyson turn on the machining table once again and get to work on another gun. This time he will be making a heavy SMG, and this gun will be going to Shepard. This one takes much longer to make than your standard auto pistol, so this will be made over the course of a couple days. And of course this leaves room for another research project to be completed, so I think this time we're going to go for microelectronics. Microelectronics is a much larger research project than anything else we've done, however, it will grant us much more high-tech technologies once we complete it. And if we check on McTodd, we can also see that she has completely recovered from her injuries and did not receive any permanent damage even though she was stabbed in the eye. And in the evening, Tyson finishes working on the heavy SMG. And in my opinion, I think the only person who deserves such a powerful weapon is Shepard himself. The heavy SMG has two distinct advantages over the bolt-action rifle. It does a pretty good amount of damage, and it has a much higher rate of fire. However, it does have lessened range, so sometimes we might be able to use the bolt-action rifle in some situations where the heavy SMG wouldn't work as well. The next morning, we receive a quest to guard one prisoner for 5 days. This seems like a pretty easy quest to do, considering we can easily feed another person. However, I will be waiting to accept this quest until the next episode. And in the evening, while everyone else is asleep, the shuttle arrives to pick up Lynx, and she leaves without even saying goodbye. However, we also learn that she didn't thoroughly hate her stay. Her average mood was a 70% during her stay, so we actually gain 8 relationship points with the Outlanders. This means that our relationship has gone from -40 to -38. If you're wondering why it's so low, it's because we stole clothing from one of their people a while ago in the first episode. And with that quest completed, I think now is a good time to end things off for this episode. We have gained another colonist, we have gotten some better weapons, better defenses, and we've completed a wide amount of research. In the next episode, we will likely be completing microelectronics and building a dedicated research lab. If you have made it this far to the episode, I'd like to thank you for watching. And also, I'd like to remind you to leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. With that being said, I'm ending this episode here. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.